Good morning, you guys. It's Ari from Let's Get Personal by Ari Squared. Today, I know it's really early. Well, it's not as early as it has been from time to time. It's 5:45 our time, Eastern Standard Time. And, excuse me. So, you know, I always say we can chalk on anything. So today we're going to chalk on a glass tabletop. I'm forever reorganizing because I have a very small house and I have lots of stuff. So yesterday I was cleaning. I cleaned a couple rooms, and in the living room, one of our tables, it's a side table. This is the top of this goes on the top of the table. It's actually a serving tray. I have two of these. One is wood, one is a wood table with a wood serving tray, and you wouldn't know it. Actually, if you see the table, you would never know that there's a serving tray on it. And then there's the other wood table with this serving tray on it. And actually, you might know this because it actually has handles. The other one doesn't. So when I bought this table, it was brown. You can see, like, right around, it was all brown. And I used to flip furniture, you know, in my last lifetime. So, I painted this white and distressed it because my house is kind of like, you know, maybe a little farmhousey. And I was thinking, there's always a lamp on that table, and sometimes there's stuff on the table, sometimes there's not, depending on, you know, what time of the year it is. Like right now there is, but it's for sale. It's a 10 by 10 picture frame with a heart in it. Anyway, so I started thinking, I'm like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll chalk the top of that table, because then I could change it seasonally or whenever I feel like it, or from, you know, holiday to holiday. So I've not ever chalked on, I have chalked on glass. I've not chalked on my tabletop. I've chalked on windows. So with that said, I'm going to get started. I wanted to hop on now because I'm going to be gone all day, and I didn't want to not get a live in. So, of course, I forgot to log on, and I don't know, for some reason my computer is not, really? Not allowing me to log on. It looks very locked up. So maybe I will restart it. That's very, very bizarre. I hate doing that. Oh, well oh good, that unlocked it. Except I don't know what all this stuff is. So I hope you guys had a good night, and yesterday was a little bit of a crazy day during the day. Today's going to be a little bit of a crazy day during the day. So, like I said, I wanted to get this done. And I find, you know, y'all, I would love to... Good morning, Susie Q. Hi, honey. I would love to do this at night, like on a regular schedule, like, you know, 7 o'clock every night. I would love to do that. That doesn't work for me. And then if I said, you know, like later after my husband's, you know, done and work, you know, but he gets up really early, so he goes to bed or whatever. Very often I'm trying to get stuff done for the next morning for obligations, so it just really doesn't work. Why am I not getting notifications? All right, I'm gonna refresh this again. Okay, so I looked at my colors and I thought, like, the tabletop is white underneath the glass. So, you know, whatever color I'm gonna do, it's probably going to show up okay. But I didn't want to do any bold colors because, you know, my house is just not filled with bold colors. It's more like muted tones. There you are. Okay, and I also want to show you real quickly Yeah, I'll show you something I did. I was going to do this live, but then I thought it's not conducive to a live. Okay, so, I chalk on canvas, like stretched, like an artist's canvas, you can see, right? So this is something an artist would paint on. And I sometimes use these. I think they're great. But I usually only use these when I'm going to do like some sort of artistic background. So I have this transfer that says make yourself at home. I did a pillow that says this. And I thought it would be fun to do something for the wall. And I just felt like doing something decorative on the background. So I'll show you what I did. So can you see that? I'm going to post pictures today because it is for sale. Isn't that really cool? So all this is really, this is 3 colors. This is gray, or this is storm, ocean mist, and black. That's it. And all I really did was use one of those chip brushes that I showed y'all before. And I made the first few coats, I used gray, and I wet the I misted the canvas and used the chip brush and put down some gray. And then I did it again, and then I did some blue and some gray. So I went back and forth, and I did it while it was sort of like a little bit wet so that it did some blending. Then I let it dry. So what I had at that point was like grays and blues, and they were all blended, and it kind of looked like a sky. And then once it dried, then I went back with less wet chalk and did, you know, some gray. And then I waited for it to dry, and I went back and I did a blue, and then I waited for it to dry. So at this point I have like 5 coats of chalk on there, thin though. Then I went back, and this is the ending part. So then I went back and I added the black. And when you're using a chip brush, you don't get like a nice solid line like you do with a paintbrush. You get all the individual bristles, and that's why you use the chip brush. So if you look real close, you can see that black is not solid at all, right? So then I did the black, and then I waited for that to dry, and then I went back and did a really sporadic coat of gray and waited for that to dry, and my final coat was the blue. And this is what we have. And then I just put the transfer on it. I shouldn't say that. Before I put the transfer on it, I did wax the surface. I waxed it all. I waited for it to dry. I buffed it so it had a nice shine to it. And then I put the transfer on it. If you don't do that, the paint can peel up. So that's what I did yesterday, and I didn't do it live, although I wanted to, because I think it would be a cool thing for you all to learn how to do. But with that said, I didn't. Okay. So once again, I went through my transfers, and I guess I really like this. It's the Audrey Hepburn quote again. The best thing to hold on to in life is each other. I'm getting a low battery. Okay, so I'm getting a low battery warning. So if we get disconnected, I will, I'll either, yeah, you know what I'll do? I'll finish filming once my battery charges. I'll splice the 2 pieces of the video together, and then I'll post it as one video. Sorry all, I don't know what is wrong with my phone. So I'm gonna put this transfer, I'm not gonna use the total top part of this because the lamp is up there. So I'm gonna put this kind of in the middle of the table, and I'm gonna put this rose at the bottom. So just a little decorative rose and the saying. So I'll start with the rose, so then I know where to put the saying. So I'm going to use, like I said, some muted tones. I'm going to use pesto for the quote because I really want to see it. So that'll be the darkest color against the white table. And then I'm going to use Marvelous, Sage, and Couture Coral. This is a little bit bright, but I don't know how much I'm going to use of that. I really don't know how I'm going to exactly do this. I never really know exactly. So here we go. I thought about chalking on the back side of the table, but then I would have to do if it was just the roses and just a picture or a decoration, I would do the back side of the table so, you know, it can't scratch off while we're using the table. But I'm doing a quote, so it would have been backwards. And I didn't want to try to figure out how to get the unsticky side sticky to get it to the table. So I'm going to do the top side. And like I said, that table doesn't get used all that much, so I think it'll be fine. All right. And for this, I think I'm going to have to chalk and lift, because I don't think I'm going to do the whole thing all at once. Trying to get some chalk off the top. I clearly didn't clean it really well last time. Okay, so I think what I'm going to start doing, I'm going to start by doing the leaves. Okay, so the first thing you want to do when you put your transfer down is make sure there's no air between the transfer and the surface, because if there is, you get bleeds. So, you know, it's on glass. There's not going to be any air in there. But, you know, I rubbed it anyway. We're all good to go. Then you want to you want to stir always your paste to make sure that it's the right consistency. If it's too thick or dry, it won't penetrate the screen. Our transfers are self-adhesive silk screen reusable transfers. So if it's too dry, it can't get through that fine screen. And if it's too wet, it can, you know, run past the screen and you'll get some bleeds. So, and the only reason it should be too wet is if you put water in it and you put too much water in it. And if that happens, then all you do is just let it sit out with the top off for a couple hours and it'll dry out. So this is sage and it's already perfect. You want it to be like the consistency of yogurt. So I took one of our squeegees. I took one of these and I cut it in thirds to get 3 of these, because we don't really have a transfer that, or a squeegee that's this small. So I'm gonna, normally you would take the stir stick and place your paste on your transfer and then go from there with your squeegee. But I'm not going to do that because the places I'm going to be doing this are pretty small. So I'm just going to use the squeegee right into the paste. And I'm going to do, and this is hard, you know, sometimes it's really hard to tell like what should be what color. So I always think like, you know, it's my artwork, it doesn't really matter. Or in this case, it's nature, so it doesn't really matter, because you know what? I've seen pink on leaves, I've seen, you know, green on flowers. So we're gonna just go for it. And I'm gonna chalk a few things in an area and then I'll do some lifting. And the reason you do that is because if you're working on a big area or multiple areas or multiple colors, if you're working on something that you can't do fairly quickly, because chalking you need to do kind of quickly, because if you don't, it gets dried out on the transfer. And if that happens, when you lift the transfer off the surface, the chalk paste comes with it and you end up with a surface with nothing on it. So when you're working on multiple colors or a bigger transfer, this is what you do. It's called chalk and lift. So I chalked an area, and then all I'm gonna do is lift the transfer to release the paste, and I'm gonna lay it back down. That's it. Except this is, I feel like my transfer's getting a little wonky because this is really stuck to the surface, and this transfer is really old. Not really old, really used, I should say. So I think that if it's getting stretched, it's simply because it's glass and it's still real sticky, and I probably should have fuzzed it. As a matter of fact, you know what? Because now I'm gonna leave it, okay. I was gonna say I was gonna take it off and fuzz it now, I'm just gonna leave it and we'll just go for it and see what happens. All right, I'm on to my next area. And I'm not sure actually if that was supposed to be a petal from the rose. Well, we'll find out when I take everything off. At the end, I'll be able to see better what the picture is. So I'm gonna chalk and lift. Oh, actually, you know what? There's a little, oh, I'll make the little branches. I'll do them in the darker green. Okay. There's, you know, little sticks here, and I was trying to decide what color to make them. Okay. So, somebody bought the big lotus flower I did on the on that big piece of canvas. So that was nice. I'm going to ship that out today. And you know what? I could get, you know, maybe I will. I was going to say I could get real creative here. You can get as creative as you want. You can, you know, chalk everything in one color and call it a day. Or you can, you know, layer colors, which actually I'm going to do. I'm going to add a little bit of darker green to this lighter green in certain areas because I have to do the flower stem anyway, like I said. So maybe I'll do like the tips a little bit darker. And once I chalk it, like I don't know if this dark is going to go over that light, but I'm just going to experiment. We'll find out when I take it off, when I lift it. Just to give it a more natural look, because in nature, you know, you don't get monotone, you don't very often get I can't think of an example where you would ever get a monotone color. Everything has multiple colors to it, if you look real closely. Lights and darks and all that good stuff. All right, so I'm gonna lift. Yeah, that's good, okay. And then I have like, those are leaves, that's a leaf. Okay, I have a couple more leaves. And then I'll work on the rose. This, I don't think this is gonna be all that long of a live. I don't think, but you know what? Something could go sideways and we could be here for an hour and a half. Well, you don't have to be here, but I would. Okay, I'm just gonna layer up a little colors again. And there's really no rhyme or reason with where I'm putting the dark. I'm kind of just, you know, here and there. And I think that's called something. I think there's a method in Chalk Couture where you kind of use like light, or not light and dark, different colors. Low battery, again, 10% battery remaining. Okay, y'all, this is not good. All right, I really don't know why that's happening, and I'm thinking we're not gonna make it through this live unless I really just, you know, put a move on it. And I might just do that. I might just stop with the layering of colors and just get going here. Except that it's my living room table. Not that that matters much. Okay, so I'm gonna chalk and lift again. What is that? Is that, I don't know if that's a leaf or not. I'm gonna make it a leaf. It kind of looks like a rose petal to me, but it's in a weird spot. It's where leaves would be, not, and it's going in a direction, you know, not like a rose petal, but it looks like a rose petal. So chalk and lift, chalk and lift. Okay, so now I'm gonna go on to the pinks. I'm gonna put the tops on these so they don't get dried out. All right, and the roses are gonna be pretty quick. I think usually like roses are deeper in color in the buds, and as they bloom, they get a little bit lighter. I feel like they fade out a little bit. So I'm going to do the buds in the coral and the center of the roses in the coral, and then the outside, the outsides in the mauvelus. I sliced my finger yesterday or the day before, and it is so sore. Ugh, little itty bitty slice, but you know, it feels infected, but it'll be fine. Okay, so here we go. Isn't this a gorgeous color? Love this. And it's fine. It's the right consistency. So I'm just gonna put this on there, on the buds. On the buds. Okay, it's only 2 roses here, so it'll go pretty quickly. So pretty. Yeah, okay. I might do the same in this coral. It's such a pretty color. Okay, so I forget what the method is called where you kind of just dot colors then blend them in, but I think I'm going to do that with the roses. So this is kind of what you do. You just, I don't know, lay down some color. I don't even know what to call it. Like, I don't know. I really don't. There is a name for it, but for the life of me, I can't remember what it is. Tonight when I'm in bed going to sleep, that's when I'll remember. And I'll hop on and tell you all. How's that? Okay, I'm going to use my finger to mix it. I don't know if anybody else does that, but I find that it's, I like doing that because you can really get it into the screen. Oh, and here's 2 thick pieces of chalk. I think I might need more. We'll have to see, you know what? Yeah, definitely. So all I'm doing is smearing it around in the screened area. The screened area is what you can see through. That's where the chalk penetrates the transfer onto the surface you're working with. Okay, so let's see what we got here. What we got is some pink leaves. I hit a leaf. And I'm sure it's going to stay pink, but that's okay. Like I said, I've seen pink on leaves before. I'll tell you, nature is absolutely amazing. Albert Einstein said that nature is the, I forget how he worded it, but basically nature is the, you know, antidote to a troubled spirit. And it's the truth. You want to find yourself, go out to nature. Okay. There we go. So I don't know if you can see it. This is a heavy piece of glass, so I'm not sure I'm going to be able to lift it and turn it around to show you, but I can lift it to show you. Now I could probably turn it around. Can you guys see that? Isn't that pretty? Now I'm just going to do the quote and we're done. I'm not going to spray this with anything. I'm not going to put anything on this because I don't want to put a fixative on my tabletop. I'm just going to let it dry and then be careful when I put things on it. I'll try to put things around it. Okay. And I was going to not do the Audrey Hepburn part of it. It's hard to see. It looks like a part of that transfers like smeared here. It is hard for me to see. Okay. Let me see. What do I want to do with this? Yeah, I'll leave the quote. So because I'm leaving her name, it's going to overlap the rose. So, of course, I'm going to dry the transfer. Even though our pastes dry in like 4 minutes, sitting here watching the clock tick for 4 minutes seems like an eternity, believe me. If you sat and did nothing and watched the clock, the second hand move for 1 minute, it seems like an eternity. Oh, what color am I going to do this in? You know what? Since it's Audrey Hepburn, I'm not going to use the dark green. I'm going to use the coral. Oh, that's not dry yet. I'm surprised. I guess just because it's glass. So the great thing about glass is when you chalk on it, you scrape it right off or put water on it, let it sit for a minute and wipe it right off. No ghosting, no residue, no nothing. So you can chalk your windows during the holidays. When I said I chalked windows, I chalked old windows and sold them. They weren't attached to a house. It was like window casings and, you know, it was an old farmhouse window. So when you guys are out and about, you should start looking at, if you're going to do chalking, start looking at everyday things that you pass that might be for sale, even in a supermarket or a department store. For something that you might not have thought twice about before, but might be able to add something to it now. Like, let's say, you come across a placemat, right? And it's plain. There's nothing on it. And you might have walked away going, yeah, I'm not going to put that on my table. Now you might look at that and go, you know what? I'm going to take that home and I'm going to chalk that thing and put it on my table. So, you know, you start thinking in a different way. Okay, now I'm going to put this down. And hopefully I'm not going to pull off those roses with my my transfer. I'll put Audrey right here. Oh. You know what? Man, oh man. This is some sticky stuff. I'm going to fuzz this because I'm not able to put it on the table in a place where I want it, because as soon as it touches the table, it just grabs it. And do it one more time. Normally you would never do this after you use the transfer several times, but this is kind of an unusual circumstance with the glass. So that's why I'm doing it. Okay, now let's see if I can move this around. Oh, whoa, way better. Okay, so Audrey's name is going to go right in that little spot with the roses. Yeah, right there. Okay, that looks pretty level. And this is going to be 3 minutes, we're done. Okay. All right, and here we go. You know what? I need a bigger squeegee for this. I don't want to get all kinds of lines in it from using a tiny little squeegee. Okay, and now I'm just going to spread it around in the areas on the transfer that I can see through. I don't need to cover the whole transfer because you're wasting chalk. Just the areas that you can see through. Forget her name. And then when you're done, you take that extra paste, where am I? Over here. And you just get it on your squeegee and put it back in the jar. Okay. Oh, I love it. put this on its backing sheet. Again, sticky side always to shiny side of the transfer. If you want to think of it this way, the back side, the sticky side of our transfers are shiny. So shiny to shiny, shiny side to shiny side. There we go. Okie dokie. Oh, that finger's killing me. All right, let me just put the top on this. I'll show you, and you may be excused. If you sprinkled the video, that's SPRINKLE. Oh my goodness. If you sprinkle the video, that's SHARE, then I will, if you do that, you need to write sprinkled in comments. That's the only way I know that you've done it. And if you do that, then I will add your name to our sprinkle basket with the funny face on it. And once a month, I'm going to draw a name out, and whoever's name I draw, I'm going to send a full kit to do some fun chalking. And we're almost at the end of the month. We're actually mid-month, but you know, you got plenty of time to get your name in there a bunch of times. And I appreciate it. By sprinkling the video, that allows me to have more exposure. It also allows people to possibly see chalking and get involved in it that might not even know it exists. So, you know, you never know. Okay, so don't know, you know, it's kind of hard to see this, but this is it finished. I'll try to take a picture of it on my table when I'm done. So there you go, another surface that we've done. We've now done what? Felt, glass, wood, lots of things. Yeah, there's just so much that you can do. I have ideas, like I thought about doing my bathroom cabinet, and I might set up shop in there one day with the camera and actually do a live on my bathroom floor on my bathroom cabinet. So we'll have to see. I gotta have the right transfer and be in the right mood. So that's it for this morning. What else? We have a couple programs you might be interested in. If you're interested in chalking, you could do a once-a-month program called COUTURE. I can give you more information about that if you want. Just, drop a comment and I'll get back with you. Or we have a designership program where you get 40% off all your purchases from the minute you get in until you decide not to be in anymore, I guess, which is great. That's what I did because I chalk a lot. There's also, there's Try Me kits online, but I also have kits that you can purchase from me. I can put together something specific for you if you like a particular transfer or you like a particular surface. I can put together whatever it is that you want. Also, if you go into my shop and you see something that you might want to see used in a live, tell me, and I'll grab it and I'll use it and I'll figure out something to do with it. So I appreciate all y'all's support, and as we go forward today, make it a great day, and I will catch you all on the rebound. Thanks.